I got to relate to you a story about something that happened in this field 5 years ago. Neighbor routinely takes a daily walk up and down the road up there, right out there, and so he calls, and my wife gets the phone, answers, and he starts telling her that their power had been out and it was back on, but he was out for his morning walk, and he notices a set of tracks coming in this field. It was soybeans at that time. It was beginning of August. And so he figures, well, he'll follow the tracks out and see what they go to, and figure they're from the electric company, and which they were. So he gets out here, and there's 2 dead deer in the field, 2 bucks, and one is missing its antlers. And so he tells my wife that, Chris probably ought to go out there and check it out. He thinks someone's been poaching and dumping deer carcasses on our property. So she lets me know. I hop on the 4-wheeler, drive on over, and sure enough, there's a path between the road right to that electric pole right there. And there's a straight path, shortest route to it. It was the electric company. It appeared that the insulator, the wooden stud it was mounted on, had rotted off, and so the power line was hanging low, but not quite touching the ground. It wasn't that way when I'd planted the beans, and it must not have been that way when the spray guys had come through, or someone would have said something. And he must not have taken too close a look at the deer, or might not have smelled them. But I get out here and everything smells burnt, and I start looking these deer over, and they've got burn marks that actually cut into the flesh. There's no blood because it just seared everything shut, and that was their power outage problem over here on this road. Was the deer must have been running through the field, 2 bucks and a doe, and didn't see the power line. It was still hot because it wasn't touching anything, just a foot or so off the ground, I would say. And if I had to guess, and they hit it, and them bucks, they must have really suffered for a little bit. They really squirmed around, knocked a lot of beans down in probably about a 10-foot diameter circle. And then the doe, she was laying right next to the electric pole. I had to look her over good. She just had 1 burn mark on a leg, but apparently that was enough to kill her. And I think the bucks must have been tangled up in the line, and so until it finally tripped the line breaker, they just kept squirming and burning. So that was definitely an interesting day. Because then he also proceeds to tell her after about the deer. The neighbor tells her how, well, did they ever find out who planted the marijuana on your land? And she's, of course, responded with, what? And we'd seen black helicopters flying around a couple weeks prior, and was wondering what was going on because they were circling the field over there, and it's corn now, but it was corn 5 years ago. And in that low spot there, someone had planted some marijuana. They'd spotted it from the air. It was a great spot, good soil. There's a drainage ditch there for them to get their water. Of course, pot's legal in Michigan now, so hopefully that'll cut down on that. Anyways, the feds had found it. He's walking down the road for his daily walk, and he notices the black helicopter flying over him, following him down the road. He says, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I live on this road. I'm out for my daily walk. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So he gets down to this he breaks over the hill here on it, and he can see the cars that are down at the other end of the road. A couple of white cars blocking the road, and a third car comes up to him, starts grilling him about who he is, and what's he doing out here. And he tells him, I live just right up here, that's the next house up, and just out for my daily walk. Proves who he is, so they don't give him any more grief, but they tell him that we've been watching the marijuana in this field for a couple weeks now, trying to catch whoever planted it, and we're going to go ahead and take it out before they have a chance to harvest it. And so that's what he was wondering about when he talked to my wife about that marijuana, and the authorities had never said a word to us. I asked a state trooper friend what he thought about it, and he said, well, don't go out there looking, because even after they've taken the marijuana, they'll leave trail cameras around to try to catch whoever's going to come back and harvest it. He says if you're walking out there right where they're looking, they're going to think that you're the one that grew it, and that's probably why they didn't tell you about it in the first place. I kind of, as a landowner, I kind of think I got the right to know what's going on my land, especially when it involves the government. That's a whole different thing that I'm not going to delve into. Just thought it was kind of, it's an entertaining story. I never did hear if they ever found anybody or anything, but you know, for the neighbor to just call up and say, hey, did they find out who grew the marijuana on your land? That was a bit of a shocker. And then finding electrocuted deer out in the field, that was a bit of a shocker, especially for them. That's all the excitement in this field that I can think of. I'd really like to see this electric line going at dawn, and back then they could have just taken it out, as I've explained in another video. It doesn't connect to anything. It just dead ends on the other end of the field. Serves no purpose other than to give me and the spray guy something to work around.